Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Scooter back again. I was able to find some more updates for the Galaxy Note 5 and some release dates. So I'm looking at iDigital Times. They were able to pretty much categorize every rumor by the display design and then different areas of the phone. So as you can see right here, they're saying that the Galaxy Note 5 may be coming with 5.89-inch Super AMOLED display with either 2K or 4K. So as you can see right here, 5.89, which is already going to be a bump up, a little bit bigger than the Galaxy Note 4 by 0.19 of an inch, and then either a 2K or 4K resolution. So the Note 4 already has a 2K resolution, so they may be anywhere between a 2K and a 4K resolution, which is pretty much we're starting to get kind of closer to the standard for the new smartphones. So right now the standard is pretty much anywhere about 1920 by 1080, which is full HD. So usually this is about the standard for most phones now. We're getting up there. And then, like I said, the Galaxy Note 4 had a 2K display, so it may go ahead and repeat again and go ahead and get the maybe a 2K display. But then again, the Galaxy Note 3 had a 1080, 1920 by 1080 resolution, so there may be another bump. They might just go up to the 4K, because they're always adjusting every single year, so you never know what they just might do. And then they're saying that they might have a foldable display, which I really don't see that happening right now in the near future. Maybe a little bit further down the road, maybe a foldable display. As far as the design, they're saying that it's going to have a glass and metal design like the Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge. They're saying that the Galaxy S6 is like the cousin or something, so they're pretty much going to be trying to copy that. And then as far as the speakers and stuff, they're going to be facing the bottom, pretty much just like the Galaxy Note 4 and the Galaxy Note 3. Then I was able to find some leaks from a couple videos back that I already talked about. And then you can see here, this is the stylus, microphone, speaker, micro USB, and then a headphone jack. And then as you can see, this is pretty much the design that they were talking about, that they might be copying from the S6 and the S6 Edge. And then as far as the glass and metal exterior back, they're saying that it may have a non-removable back, which pretty much means you cannot remove the micro SD, which there may not be a micro SD, and then you cannot remove the battery. So that means you're pretty much stuck with what you already have. And then here is some another new leak picture that I was able to find, and it pretty much kind of confirms that 3D print from above. And then this is supposed to be the new case that is supposed to fit the phone. And as you can see, you have that stylus again, and then a little microphone right there. Let me go back. A little microphone right there, a bottom-facing speaker, micro USB jack, micro USB, and your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And then at the top, you have your IR blaster. And then as far as the front of the phone, as I can see, it looks like the proximity sensor might have been moved to the left side of the phone, leaving the front-facing camera all by itself. And then as far as everything else, it looks like the power button and the volume up and down are in the same spot, so that hasn't changed too much. And then as far as the flash, I believe it moved from underneath the camera to the left side of the camera. And then yeah, that's what I was correct. The flash is being located Is that the right? Well, I guess the right side of the camera instead of underneath it. And then the phones are starting to get really thin now. So as you can see, they're saying it's going to be about 7.9 millimeters when compared to 8.5 millimeters. So these phones are starting to get pretty thin. You know, pretty soon it's just going to be walking around with like a piece of paper. So we're looking at about 0.6 millimeter difference between the Galaxy Note 4 and the Galaxy Note 5. And I think these are some more leaked cases or blueprints that they may be using as far as the phone goes. And then you still have the stylus on the left side of the phone, or the right side of the phone, I mean. Your bottom facing speaker, micro USB port, and your headphone jack, power button, as well as your volume up and volume down. As far as the chip, we're looking at an octa-core Exynos, I don't know how to pronounce, 7442, and then the Snapdragon 8020 chip. So I'm not too sure about the processor and all that stuff, how that stuff works. I'm just going by what it says. And then as far as the RAM, we're looking at a 4 gigabyte of RAM, which is going to be an increase from the 3 gigabytes. So that is really great that we're starting to boost up the RAM on some of these phones. So we can probably be looking at faster switching in between apps and stuff. And then some of those heavy hardcore games that you can play on the phones, so that would work out great. And then as far as storage, internal storage, we're looking at 32 gigabytes, 64, and 128. So to me, 32 gigabytes needs to be the new standard. No more, nothing less than 32. So that's pretty much needs to be the base model, at least in my opinion. And then as far as the battery, 41 milliamp hour, which can be pretty good or pretty bad depending on the screen resolution, because the screen resolution tends to really drain your battery if you tend to have it on a lot. And as far as the software, they're saying that the Note 5 may be launching with the Google Android M operating system, but they're saying that it might not launch until October. But however, I believe they just might put it on the Android or the Galaxy Note 5 a little bit early. And then if not, it'll definitely probably launch with Lollipop, most definitely. And then as far as TouchWiz, they're trying to clean it up a little bit, make it easier for the user, and get rid of those standard apps, or Samsung apps I should say, as far as like S Health and some of those different trackers and stuff that they have on the phone. You maybe design your own wallpaper. Yeah, and then as far as the camera, it looks like the rear facing camera may be anywhere between 13 and 21 megapixels. They probably should go anywhere between 17 and 18, fit it right there in the middle. You don't want it to be too high and not too low. And then the 5 megapixel or either 8 for the front facing camera. And then they're going on talking about the dumb auto ejectable S Pen, which to me they should be using that effort for something else, because by the time you use a voice command to eject your S Pen, you can pretty much just pull it out yourself. So I don't know what they're doing with that. And then as far as USB type C, there might be something new, I think, at least for the Samsung, to have a new USB type. But I don't know what I'm gonna do once they switch over to type C, because I have so many micro USB cables, so I pretty much might have to get rid of those. And that's pretty much it. And as far as the pricing, looks like the 32 gigabyte and the 64 and 128. Now it looks like the starting price with the 2-year contract is $299, and off contract for the 32 gigabyte is going to be $749. And then it looks like they're going to be intervals of 100. So 64 is going to be $849, and 128 is going to be pretty close to about $1,000 off contract. And then as far as the release date, it's going to be somewhere in September at the IFA Expo in Berlin. So they pretty much do this every year, and they usually release the Galaxy Note series. So that's pretty much it for the video. If you have any thoughts, go ahead and drop them below. Catch you guys in the next one.